Before operations can be created, tools should be added to the tool manager. This lesson will focus on the process of adding and modifying tools in the Mastercam tool manager, as well as the standalone tool manager. I'll start by turning off the stock display. In order to determine what size tools will be suitable for this part, let's analyze some of the geometry. I'm going to click on the Analyze Entity button inside the Analyze group on the Home tab. For the sake of drilling, let's check the internal radii here. You'll notice that this arc has a radius of 7 mm or a diameter of 14 mm. Now let's use the Analyze Distance button in the same Analyze group. I want to get a rough idea of the vertical distance here to see how deep the part is. As you can see, we're close to 70 mm here. Now that we have some dimensions for the hole diameters and the depth of the part, let's go into the Tool Manager found in the Mill Toolpaths Contextual tab and then the Utilities group. The Tool Manager opens and you'll see that it's divided into two sections. The top section contains the tools that are currently in your machine group, or more specifically, your Mastercam file. The bottom section contains all of the tools in the selected tool library. You can also take tools from the library and pass them into your part, and you can also take tools from your part and pass them down into the library using these two buttons here. Once you start programming toolpaths in Mastercam, you will notice the top area here will get populated with the tools that are used in your toolpaths. To quickly show how the tools are used, I'll create a quick drill toolpath. Once I select a drill toolpath and select the hole that I want to drill, you'll see here that I can choose what specific tool I want to use for the drill toolpath. By selecting a drill here and then clicking OK, the toolpath is created using that tool. If we now go into the tool manager, you'll see that tool number 2 is added to my machine group 1 in the upper area here. You'll also notice that this tool has a green check mark next to it that indicates it's used in a toolpath. Mastercam also has a standalone tool manager, which allows you to create tools and assemblies outside of the Mastercam product. You can access it from the Start menu under Mastercam, and it's labeled Tool Manager. With the standalone tool manager open, I'm going to open up the default millimeter tool database. Tool database files typically have their units listed at the end of the file name, so in this case, here, we're picking a millimeter tool database. You'll see on the left we have the Database Explorer. This is where you access your various tool assemblies, holders, and cutting tools. Simply double-clicking on them will open up their own separate tab at the top of the work area. You can also customize the interface by dragging the tabs and docking them to the various sections of the screen. In this course, we're going to keep our interface similar to the default interface and not customize it. Let's create a new tool assembly by clicking on Assembly from the New Component group on the Home tab. You'll see a new icon is created in the Assembly Tree window below the Database Explorer window. Let's add a holder to this assembly by going to the Holders tab, finding the C6E4-0875 holder, and then drag it down to the Assembly Tree window. Next, we'll go to the Tools tab and grab tool number 67 and drag that down into the Assembly Tree window. Now the new assembly has been created. If you navigate to the Assemblies tab and select the new assembly you just created, you'll notice a preview down below. You can rotate the assembly as well as graphically edit its projection. The middle mouse button allows you to spin the assembly around. To edit the projection, select the tool holder, and while holding down the Control key, slide it up and down to edit the projection of the tool. Notice the new value is updated here. This will help check for collisions inside of Mastercam when using this tool. Changes made in the standalone tool manager will automatically be saved to the tool database file. Let's go back into Mastercam and click on the tool manager button inside the utilities group. Notice the assembly created in the standalone tool manager is now included inside the database. Now, don't worry if it seems like we briefly went through the tool manager. The tool creation will be covered in a more detailed lesson later on. Let's also delete the drill toolpath we quickly created a few minutes ago. I'm going to right-click on it and select Delete. I'll then click Yes to confirm that I want to delete this operation. In this lesson, we briefly explored both Mastercam tool managers. It's advantageous to become familiar with these utilities so you can better create new tool libraries and manage your existing tools and holders.